Hey everybody, welcome back. It is Tuesday, April 7th, 2020. We have our agenda here up on the board for you. Just a couple of quick announcements, and we're going to get right into our lesson for today. Number one, please make sure you have signed in and done the attendance lesson for last week. I need everybody to do that. It is vital. Go to classwork, go to the attendance, and finish that up right away. I still need 27 of you to finish that. It is very, very important at the very minimum that you are doing that. Number two, I know Amplify was down for a little bit today, so don't get frustrated too much if it was not working for you when you were working on your stuff. They were updating some stuff. Hopefully today it'll be much smoother. And if you are having issues, please sign in through your Clever account and making sure that you're selecting the right school and city, La Habra and Washington Middle School. It's very important that you click those and make those work. And of course, if you're having troubles on your iPad, send in a help desk to the on the main website page. And if you can, please go to a laptop or another device to try to work on your Amplify. And don't worry if you're late on your work. I'm not penalizing or taking points off for any late work. As long as it's getting done, you'll be fine. All right, so those are pretty much the same announcements that we've been going over, but again, they're very important, and we need everybody to make sure they are doing those things at the beginning of these lessons. So back to our agenda for today. We have our DLP number 2 to work on some more. We have silent reading, and then we have subunit 2, lesson 2 for Amplify. It's a pretty short one. Yesterday was a little longer. Today, if yesterday was long, today is going to be a bit shorter. And then you'll have your solo for homework to complete on Amplify as well. So let's get started with our DLP for today. I'll go ahead and put it up, pause and complete it, and then come on back and we'll go over the corrections. So the corrections for our DLP today. Number 1, since the class was listening intent, Janine shared about her great-grandmother's accomplishments. Okay, so this is not a quote today, but we do need to capitalize the S in since. And since the class was listening, this is the verb. Listening is the verb. Intent then is the adverb. And intent is actually not an adverb. It is an adjective. That would mean it is describing a noun. But listening is not a noun. It is a verb. So we need to make intent into an adverb. And to do that, you add L and Y to the end of it. So since the class was listening intently, now we have a grammatically correct sentence. Go ahead and capitalize the J in Janine, shared about her great-grandmother's accomplishments. Okay, so if you don't hyphenate this part, then you're talking about her grandmother who was great. However, she's not talking about her great-grandmother like her good grandmother. She's talking about her grandmother that came before the current grandmother she has, or her grandmother's mother. So you do need to hyphenate this with a mark that looks like that. So otherwise, it's kind of like the adjective. So that's the point of the hyphen there, is to let us know that great-grandmother is a noun and not an adjective where you're describing a grandmother by using the adjective great. Now, it is her great-grandmother's accomplishment, so you need to put an apostrophe here and then a period at the end of the sentence. Okay. Number 2, it's so amazing that she was able to start her own organization from the comfort of her home. It brought it a good amount of income for her family, continued Janine. Okay. So here Janine is quoting, we're quoting Janine, that is, so we do need to put quotation marks here and here. Capitalize the I in its. Put an apostrophe because its is a contraction for it is. It's so amazing that she was able to start her organization from the comfort of her own home. We'll put a period there. We'll start a new sentence with a capital I. It brought it a good amount of income. It is already there, making the it is the pronoun for organization, so you don't need to put it a second time. That's a little redundant, so you could actually delete that. It brought a good amount of income to her family. Put a comma there. Continue Janine. We'll need to capitalize the J in Janine, and we'll have a period at the end of our sentence there, and we are set. So there are your corrections for DLP. Tuesday 4-7-2020. Again, once it is time for silent reading, so please pause and do that now if that is conducive to you. Otherwise, you got to get that done at some point. It is a vocab week, so you need to select vocab words from your 20 pages of reading and use them in correct sentences, doing 5 a day. All right, so you should have 5 sentences per day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then we'll turn that in on Friday. So please pause and do that if you would like to now. Otherwise, we are moving on to Amplify Subunit 2, Lesson 2. All right, so just in case you forgot how to get there and you're at the main page, we are on 7D, Poetry and Poe. Subunit 2, right here, the Telltale Heart. And we are finishing up Lesson 2, Reading Like a Movie Director. Okay, so first things first, please do the vocab for 5 minutes. Please make a timer so that you don't go above the 5 minutes or you're below the 5 minutes. Try to stay around that and do that and pause the video if you must. And we'll head on back to card number 2. So card number 2, you were kind of finishing the ending to Telltale Heart, and we're going to transition to a little bit of storyboarding. So usually we would have a discussion as a class. It's going to be a little difficult to do since it's just me talking in a video now. So we actually won't do too much discussion right now, and we'll move right over to card number 3. All right, so here are your directions for card number 3. You are going to reread paragraphs 17 and 18 closely, and then highlight what the narrator is doing in green, highlight what the narrator is saying in blue, and highlight what the narrator says the police are doing in red, and finally highlight what the narrator says the police are thinking in yellow. These are all actually kind of separate things that are happening. So try to ingest paragraph 17 and 18, highlight those things using the appropriate color, and you could pause and do the video now, and then be sure to hand that in when you are done. When you are done, let's move on over to card number 4. Once again, we're going to, if you just reread those paragraphs, you don't need to reread them again, but we're going to work on the storyboard app. It's kind of cool. Hopefully it works. I'm a little nervous. It's not going to work for everybody. If it doesn't, it's not the end of the world, but it is really, really cool if you can. So there is a link here on card number 4 that's going to take you to the Telltale app. It's going to open a new browser for you. Hopefully it works. It's going to probably require Flash. If it's not working, then try a different device, okay? So what you're going to click on here is the narrator's perspective, the reader's perspective, and compare and contrast. When you're here, you're going to look at the narrator. You have also the police. You also have sounds. You have thoughts. You have other as well. And so what you can do here is kind of make a picture how you would if you were visualizing what was happening for each of these scenes. So for instance, yet the sound increased, and yet the officers heard it not. I arose and argued about trifles in a high key and with violent gesticulations, but the noise steadily increased. Why would they not be gone? All right, so if you think you're visualizing the narrator there, if you're visualizing the police there, you can drag them up here. You can drag 2 policemen here. You can have thought bubbles. You can have sounds. You can have them, they're making a mockery of my terror. Whatever it may be, you have a lot of different selections, and try to just mess around with it a little bit and turn in what you have in your mind into a little bit of actualization with this storyboard. Okay, so when you're done with the narrators, move over to the reader's perspective. When you're done with the reader's perspective, you compare and contrast, trying to go over what the reader's perspective versus the narrator's perspective. Okay, so hopefully all of that makes sense. So for this one here, you're just kind of putting, if you think it's more of the narrator's perspective and the reader's perspective, put some dots here. If you think it's more of the narrator's, or if you think it's more of the reader's perspective, and then you can, one dot, a couple dots here, you can remove them. Not too worried about that. I think the really important ones are to do the narrator's perspective and the reader's perspective. Okay, so pause the video and do that for a little bit. And then finally, we're up to the solo already. So it's a pretty short lesson for today. And the solo is just, again, finishing up some of these multiple choice questions. Okay, there we go. Finishing up some multiple choice questions with the telltale heart. So it shouldn't take you much longer than 10 minutes or so. And finish up those questions for today. All right. So pretty straightforward lesson. Not too much. Tomorrow we're going to work on no red ink. And we'll have we'll start our new we'll start lesson 3 on Thursday for poetry and Poe. Okay. Once again, if you have any questions, go ahead and feel free to use the Remind app or email me. And please get your work done. And very, very importantly, please do this attendance assignment so I can know who is accessing and who is not accessing this website. I do have to start making calls this week. I'm trying to give everybody a chance. But on Thursday, if I haven't heard from you and I don't see any work being done, I do have to make those calls home. It's not even my choice. It's more of a district mandated thing, meaning the district is making me do that for everybody not signing in for the attendance. So don't let that be you. Otherwise, stay safe, stay indoors. And for now, this is Mr. Sanchez signing off. Have a great day.